the Commissioner of Corrections from Solomon Islands, the Director of Corrections Vanuatu, Deputy Commissioner of Corrections PNG, Commissioner of Corrections Services Fiji, Madam Chair, Ms. Unaisi Vuniwanga, Assistant Commissioner Administration of Fiji, of Police Fiji, representatives from regional diplomatic offices, representatives from government ministries, representatives from academic institutions, invited guests, media representatives, ladies and gentlemen, Nisambula Vinaka, and a very good evening to you all. It is a pleasure for me indeed to be here to close your regional conference and to see a room full of beautiful women always inspires me. And like you rightly said, a profession that was previously considered to be a male-dominated one, I see this room dominated by women. And hats off to the women in this room and for the wonderful work that you have been doing. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity to thank the organizing committee for giving me the opportunity to close your conference tonight. And a big thank you to the Fiji Corrections Services for hosting this successful conference in Fiji this year. At this point, I would also like to acknowledge the presence and participation of women officers who have dedicated roles in the correctional services in Fiji and across the region. I must take this time to commend you for the service that you have provided and the service that you continue to provide over these years. Thank you for taking on the role which, as I said earlier, a very challenging one, considered and normally taken as a male-dominated one. I believe this week-long conference has given you all the opportunity to network, share ideas, experiences and challenges, and also to devise strategies that will help you to improve the services you provide and also look at ways you can uplift your performance as women in corrections. At this point, allow me also to thank the Solomon Islands Correction Service for taking the initiative to host the first conference in the year 2011. I strongly believe that it is through consultations such as this that successful exchange programs amongst the different jurisdictions have been able to take place over the years. Earlier this month, I had the opportunity to tour the Women's Correctional Center in Corvo and also had the opportunity to meet some of the female inmates. I shared with them then and do so now that it is through partnership with correctional services that my ministry aims to positively change the lives of women inmates. I must at this juncture also acknowledge the Fiji Correctional Service for the well-organized programs, the opportunities provided through its rehabilitation programs at the Women's Correctional Center. Currently, I'm sure you've been told of this, there are 55 female inmates, 13 committed murders by infanticide, while the rest are in for theft and of obtaining money by false pretenses. So basically what we need to do is to empower these women. We need to empower them economically so that they do not re-offend. And that is basically the strategies that we, and the Commissioner would agree with me, that we are trying to promote in Fiji prison, so that we do not have these inmates re-offending and coming back to our prisons. The Fiji Correctional Services, I've been told, was provided with an increased budget for this year, and the Fijian government continues to support the Fiji Correctional Services through various rehabilitation projects, and in particular the Yellow Ribbon projects. I'm sure you have heard about the Yellow Ribbon projects over the course of the last few days, with the continued budgetary allocations towards its in-house rehabilitation programs. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, if I may say, when a woman goes to prison, it's the children who are most affected. And at my ministry, we keep children our priority and at heart. And likewise, when the head of the family, whether it's a man or a woman, goes into prison, the burden falls to the entire family. Family and community support, therefore, is very essential to ensure that the inmates are given opportunities to change their lives while in prison. And that is where your role comes in, through the rehabilitation programs. And here in Fiji, that is what the Yellow Ribbon Initiative is about, providing second chance to the offenders so that they do not reoffend. There's also a need for consolidated effort between the government, NGOs, and the relevant stakeholders to work together to create skills training and opportunities for social and economic empowerment and development of inmates, whether it be men or women. As we pursue to a coordinated partnership with Fiji Correctional Service, the Ministry for Women, Children will provide services in areas of rehabilitation programs to help develop self-confidence, morale, and ability to live a decent and a respectful life with their families once out of prison. At this stage, I'd also like to elaborate that prison cell is no place for a woman. The women of this nation are empowered to have a voice, to realize and reach to their highest potential, to be leaders in their homes and communities. Women have the ability to live a victorious life, and certainly not as victims nor as offenders. Ladies and gentlemen, let me briefly highlight the key roles of the rehabilitation program facilitated by the Fiji Correctional Service, which includes disciplinary development, personal enhancement, vocational training, and community development. My ministry also currently offers similar empowerment programs to the women's group through equipping them with skills and resources to build their self-confidence, morale to become self-reliant and independent. Achieving this can be challenging, for behavior change doesn't happen overnight. We believe it requires a change in mindset. And I'm pleased to inform this forum that for the very first time, the Fiji Women's Correctional Services were part of the divisional craft show that was held at the Suva show last week, during which they had the opportunity to display their skills and talents developed through the rehabilitation programs like tailoring, screen printing, and designing within the four walls of the prison. That artwork is a projection of their talents, and the ministry aims to provide support in terms of recognizing and marketing such skills. It has also been brought to our attention in this forum that overcrowding in prisons is an issue, and of course this will be addressed through the new infrastructural projects that are currently in progress. The plans to open up a new women's correction centre in Lautoka will definitely ease the problems of overcrowding and will also ensure that female inmates will have accessibility to their families, particularly their children. And of course, this has all been made possible with the government's commitment with increased budgetary allocation. I know you are all eager to enjoy the rest of the evening, because for the past couple of days you have been engaged in discussions and a lot of talk, and definitely would not like me to continue but enjoy the rest of the evening with I think a wonderful program that is in place. Actually, I'm excited to be part of that program as well. But I'm sure you have been awed by the hospitality that we have in Fiji, and of course would love to come back and take home a lot of lessons learned, and you will leave behind your best practices for us to consider and look at, and the experiences and the friendship or the ties that you have forged during this conference will go a long way. And at this point, I would like to congratulate you all for being here today and for the wonderful that you do here and across the region. And I'm sure you will always find Fiji to be a friend of yours. And like rightly said, all good things must come to an end. But I'm sure this end is the beginning of good things to come in future. And once again, I'd also like to reiterate the importance of forums such as this, discussions that occur in these forums, and the commitment that various regions put in ensuring that we have successful forums such as this, to devise strategies and plans to take services, correctional services especially, a step further in creating and empowering correctional services for our women, wherever they may be. Ladies and gentlemen, with those few words, may I now officially close the Pacific Island Regional Conference for Women in Corrections for yet another year. And I wish you all the very best. Have a safe travel back home. But before that, please enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much. Vinaka Vakilevo.